and welcome to another Crochet Cakes tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a basic fingering weight beanie. This beanie is super simple to make, and best of all, it is unisex. So just grab your yarn and hook and let's start. To make this hat, we will be using Ulysses Dererum Natura, and this is 50 grams, of which you will have approximately 17 grams left over. This is Goland color, which is a nice heathered gray. Originally, I made this hat in this black heathered yarn. This is the one that you will see me use in the Instagram reel if you check it out. And we will also need a 3.25 millimeter hook for the body of the hat, as well as a 5 millimeter crochet hook for the border of the hat. We will also need some scissors and a yarn needle, which is not pictured here. So to begin, let's just grab our yarn, and as I said, I'm going to be using Ulysses Dererum Natura, which is just a super squishy yarn. I absolutely love working with this yarn, and if you try it, please let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is grab our 3.25 millimeter hook and our yarn, and we are going to be making a magic loop. We're going to chain 1 to close it, and then we're going to chain 3 to count as our first double crochet. Then we're going to make 11 more double crochets into this ring for a total of 12 double crochets. Now this hat that I'm making will fit a teenager or an adult hat. It's not toddler size, but to make the toddler size, I would just do less increases than what I will be sharing with you later. Okay, so just continue on making your double crochets. And once we have completed our double crochets, I'm just going to pull that loop nice and closed, and we are going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. You could of course simply work in a spiral if you wanted to do that, but I'm going to join. Chain 1, and right in that chain 1 we are going to make 2 double crochets. And we're going to make 2 double crochets in each stitch around for a total of 24 double crochets. Now in the pattern, this will be written as double crochet to increase. Now to close round 2, we will close with a slip stitch to that chain 1 first double crochet, and then we are going to chain 1, and we are going to work a double crochet. So in the pattern, this will be written as double crochet, comma, double crochet to increase. So this means that you are going to work 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch you're going to work 2 double crochets. If you are more experienced with this technique, this is simply increasing in the round. Two double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to repeat double crochet to increase in all the way around, and I will meet you back here to end round 3. Now we end round 3 exactly as we ended our previous rounds, by joining with a slip stitch. You can of course choose another method, as I said, working in a spiral or doing a standing double crochet, anything like that. So to begin round 4, we are going to chain 1, and I'm going to begin this round by doing the increase in the first stitch. So that is 2 double crochets in this stitch, and then we are going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So in your written pattern, this will be written as double crochet to increase, comma, 2 double crochet. Okay, and these are US terms, so double crochet is what I'm showing you here, not UK terms, which would be single crochet. Okay, so then this is 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then we do an increase, and we're going to repeat this sequence all the way around, and I will meet you back here for round 5. So for round 5, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to start by working 3 double crochets, and this will be written in your pattern as 3DC. So 3 double crochets here. This is my third one, and then we are going to do an increase in the next stitch, and that is working 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So the pattern for round 5, is 3 double crochets and an increase. I've just finished working the increase, so let's work 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry about that. And then the next stitch would be an increase, and this would be what you will repeat around. And I will meet you back here when it is time to begin round 6. Just slip stitching here to close round 5. Now for round 6, chain 1, and we are going to work an increase in the first stitch, and then we're going to do 4 double crochets. You've probably noticed that what I'm doing here is alternating where I place my increases, and this is to make sure that our circle looks as flatly round as possible, if that makes sense, and it doesn't have those little peaks that mark where you've constantly increased in the same spot. So here I've done my 4 double crochets, and I'm just going to grab some more yarn so that we can work our increase. Once again, the pattern repeat for this round is 4 double crochets and an increase. And an easy way to check that you're going along correctly is when you reach the end of the round, you should end with 4 double crochets because you started with an increase. And vice versa, if you started with your double crochets, then you should end on an increase. Okay, so just remember here that we're doing 4 double crochets and then an increase. Let's start round 7. So here I'm closing off round 6 with a slip stitch, just like we've done for previous rounds. And for round 7, I'm going to chain 1, and I am going to work my 5 double crochets because we began round 6 with an increase. I am beginning round 7 with 5 double crochets. And 5 double crochets. Okay, and once we've done those 5 double crochets, then it is time to do an increase. There's a little bit of a jump here because I ran out of storage and I didn't notice until I was almost done with the row. So after we've done our 5 double crochets, we're going to do an increase, and that is going to be the repeat for round 7. And just a reminder that we end round 7 on an increase because we started with the 5 double crochet. This is our last increase round for adult hat. Now we are going to slip stitch to close the round. Once we complete round 7, this is what we have. This is what our hat looks like up till now. Now from rounds 8 to 18, we are just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So this is a total of 11 rounds of double crochet. So to begin round 8, we are just going to chain 1 and work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. This will be written in your pattern as DC in each stitch. As I said, I love working with this yarn. I find this yarn just so woolly and warm and just a pleasure to work with. And I wish I had bought more. This is Deep Stash. This is from, I believe, my second trip to EYF, which is the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Anyway, sidetracked. So let's just continue doing one double crochet in each stitch around. And remember that we are going to be doing this for a total of 11 rounds, so from row 8 to 18. And I will meet you back here when it is time to work our border. Remember to slip stitch to close the round. And now just a little tip so you don't have to go back and count when you started those 11 rounds. Just place a stitch marker on round 8 and you should be good to go. It should help you with the counting, and that way you can just crochet on. Okay, so let's join our last round together. This is round 18, and I'm joining here to the first double crochet to form my round, or to close my round, I should say. And as I said, this is row 18, so if you would like a shorter hat, you simply make less rounds of these double crochets. Now let's measure the length of the hat that we have here. So holding it as flat as possible, we are going to grab a tape measure, and we have here that it measures 7 1/4, between 7 1/4 and 7.5 inches long. So you could of course leave it here or join me for the next part where we will make a very nice slip stitch border, if I do say so myself. To begin our slip stitch border, we are going to switch to a 5mm crochet hook. That is an H crochet hook, and we are going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. We're now going to be working on the inside of our hat, and we're going to be making slip stitches in the back loops only. So before we begin these slip stitches, I am going to mark the beginning stitch of the round so that I don't forget where I started, and I work into that when we come back, because we're going to be working in a spiral as well. So here's my first back loop, and I'm just going to slip stitch, trying to slip stitch loosely, even though we do have a 5mm crochet hook, because then that makes it easier to work in our stitch when we come back. Okay, so this is first slip stitch in the back loop only. Here's the second slip stitch in the back loop only. And I'm just going to continue all the way around. I'm not going to join when we reach the end of the round because we want to work in a spiral. But just keep making your slip stitches in the back loops only, trying to work loosely, because if not, it's going to be a nightmare when we come back to work into these slip stitches. And now I've reached the first stitch of the previous round, the last stitch of this round. I'm just removing my stitch marker, and I'm going to work a slip stitch into the back loop of this double crochet. And once we've done that, we're not going to join. We're now going to start working in a spiral, and we are going to work into the back loops of our slip stitches. And if you would like, you could replace your stitch marker so that you know where your beginning or end of the round is, and work into the back loops only of your slip stitches. And we're going to continue this pattern until we've done our brim as long as we want. I'm going to be doing here a 1-inch brim. You could do a 2-inch brim and then fold it up. It'll look really nicely. Here we can start to see that kind of garter look. Sorry about that, my camera cut off again. But as I was saying, we are just going to continue working slip stitches in the back loop only of our slip stitches, and it's pretty easy to tell because we have these V's, so the front and the back. Just work into the back loop only of the slip stitches for however long you like. I am going to be doing a 1-inch brim, and I will meet you back here when I am done so that we can try the hat on together. And here we have it, our basic fingering weight beanie with a nice slip stitch brim that kind of looks like a garter stitch. So I really enjoy doing this slip stitch in the back loop only. And remember, this is what you kind of get when you work from the inside out, I should say. This is what the inside looks like, which is also very nice. So if you want to like fold it up, if you made a longer brim, it'll look really nice as well. And that is it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like more information on the written pattern, then please click the description box below and it'll take you to my website. Bye for now.